Welcome, everybody. That music can only mean one thing, and we are the Insiders, and we are here with you on a Wednesday night, as always, at 10:15. Well, 10:16. Little tiny bit of a tweak there, but we're good to go. Welcome to everybody that has joined us so far, and we've got a lot to talk about, and we've got Jeff is here with me as always, and we've got Gary Cassidy. Gary has come and joined us this week, so awesome to have you back, Gary. And I hope you're ready to talk some wrestling tonight, man. We got a lot to cover.
I have not fallen asleep tonight, so we are good to go. I am wide awake.
There you go. There you go. Awesome. Guys, listen, thank you for joining us tonight. It has been another crazy week for us. We've come off an Impact stream last night. Obviously, we had Raw. Man, it just seems like it's just going and going and going. But yeah, I love it. It's awesome. And we came off another great night of wrestling tonight with NXT and AEW. Both shows very entertaining. I was kind of going back and forth between them both. And yeah, so awesome to see that everybody has joined us afterwards, and we could talk some wrestling with you guys. Let me just say some quick shout outs here to the chat. To Joshua Mickelson, hello. Famous KJ Carter, yo man. Rusty Shackelford, hi KJ, says Rusty. Hello Rusty, welcome to the show. TG Rydog B, hello, how are you tonight? Let's see, DJ B Tazzy, welcome, man. Hope you're enjoying your days off from baseball. Hope you're enjoying some time off there. You deserve it after all the work you did. And let's see who else we've got here. Lennon Young, welcome. A lot of people with the yo-yo-yos going on out there tonight. Eric Haberman, welcome to you. We got Big Boy Dally, welcome to you. Butterspark says, hey there, welcome, man. Dave in real life, Johnny Bates, everybody joining in now. Rockstar and ANSH2. I was going to say something there. It looked like onk to me, but it's whatever it is. So welcome, everybody, and let's just dig right in because, man, we've got a lot to talk about. Let's start off with some breaking news, obviously, from AEW and NXT. Let's talk a little bit, Gary, about Karrion Kross and Keith Lee. It looks like the match is set, and obviously that's going to be for the next NXT pay-per-view coming up before SummerSlam. So what do you think of that matchup? How do you think this feud is going to go?
Yeah, it's a bit of an odd one because that's definitely the way everything looked like it was going. But there was a little comment from William Regal saying that you have to earn, title shots. So I think they might have to have Karrion Kross compete over the next few weeks to earn that shot. But that definitely looks like the match we're getting. The one slightly confusing aspect for me on that match is I don't know how we get a clean finish without either man looking a bit weak. And that's, not to say anything about, both men, because both of them are obviously really big stars, like strong contenders. But for me, I don't think you have Keith Lee lose the title immediately, but I also don't think you can have Karrion Kross lose clean. So it's a really, really odd match, but I always feel like I say this with any match that I can't predict. If you don't know what's going to happen, that normally means you're going to pay attention. It means you're going to watch, you're going to tune in. And I guess that is exactly what the name of the game is to get all of us watching wrestling. So yeah, I find it really interesting. I don't think they can go for another match right now, because otherwise it would seem like, the result would be predictable. If we had Keith Lee versus anyone else at TakeOver that isn't Karrion Kross, we know Keith Lee's going to win unless Karrion Kross, is the person that cost him the match. But yeah, really exciting. I love both guys. I think both guys are great. So I'm very intrigued by that matchup indeed.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's going to be a heck of a battle. Johnny Bates says Dijakovic turn, maybe. Maybe a heel turn in the future there. You never know. Jeff, what do you think of this? I know you were impressed with Karrion Kross. Obviously, you're also a big Keith Lee fan. So what do you think of this potential matchup we got coming? And like Gary said, I mean, are they kind of booking themselves into a bit of a wall here?
Yes, and yes. They are booking themselves into a wall. And We're actually going to talk about this a little bit later in the show, but
Yep.
with as dominant as Karrion Cross has looked, um, it's really hard to see him losing right now. And then you look on the other side of that, and you have Keith Lee, who's just won the championship. It wouldn't make sense to take the belt off of him right now. So, I mean, you really didn't need to do this if you were NXT. Let both men kind of go on their own paths for a little bit, and then have that path meet, but a lot later down the road. So, but I mean, honestly, do I want to see this matchup? Absolutely, I'd love to
Yep.
see this matchup. I'm not gonna complain about that, but I think in terms of story wise, you kind of paint yourself into a corner when you start booking like this.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely could be. I mean, we were talking about something similar months ago with Braun and Bray, and how they can, did they book themselves in a corner with that? But I mean, obviously, that worked out. So who knows? But yeah, definitely a match I'd want to see. I agree that with you there for sure. The other surprise we got obviously was Matt Cardona tonight appeared on AEW. So. Gary, what do you think of a Matt showing up tonight? I know you were saying he's looking pretty powerful there, isn't he?
He looks huge. He looks absolutely massive. I mean, obviously instantly recognizable, so I can't really say, oh, I didn't even know it was Matt Cardona, because we all knew it was immediately, but he looks absolutely massive. The interesting thing here, he is definitely one of the names that is one of the few names not rumoured for Impact at all. He was one of the ones I had heard nothing about in terms of Impact. Everyone was thinking, he's great friends with Cody Rhodes. They go to like Disneyland and Disney World together all the time. They're great friends outside of the ring, always have been. So everyone is saying he's definitely going to go to AEW. But Cody mentioned a few weeks back, and these are always the kind of thing that he's never going to say, oh yeah, Matt Cardona will be here. So he kind of has to say, oh no, there's no chance he's going to be here. But it was still surprising to see him. This is, you know, people can record things within their 90-day non-compete as long as it doesn't air and it's kind of kept on the down low. So last week he could have showed up. It would have been recorded within his 90-day non-compete, but this is the first time that he could have competed without it being within that 90 days and then them airing it later. So they have jumped on it immediately. The interesting thing is, Impact picked up a lot of bodies. It'll be surprising if we see anyone else in AEW, I think, but you never know, because there's been a lot of people, Tino Sabatelli showing up, over the last couple of weeks, and also we've just seen Cameron, former WWE superstar as well, former Funkadactyl, showing up tonight. So you never know, we could always see anybody anywhere, but man, Matt Cardona is someone that, I always say it was light years ahead of his time. Look how many people use social media to progress like wrestling angles now and use the internet to their advantage. That's something that Matt Cardona pretty much invented. So he's definitely a big talent. I'm just really excited to see what AEW do with him and how they use him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's in a tag team match next week with Cody. So you're going to get Cody and Matt against the Dark Order. I believe it is two guys from the Dark Order. The guys that invaded tonight, I can't remember their names off the top of my head. But yeah, so you'll see them in a tag team match next week. So yeah, another exciting debut for a departing WWE superstar. And as Gary said, looks as if he was kind of meant to go to AEW pretty much the whole time. So Jeff, are you excited about seeing Matt Cardona? Do you think he made a good decision here? I mean, are you happy with where he ended up?
Yeah, I am, because I feel like they will actually use him, as opposed to just having him be on the sidelines or do anything else like that. Because I mean, like Gary said, he's been so innovative in terms of using social media, using YouTube, and doing the things that he's done in the past that were so far ahead of his time, and I mean he really paved the way for a lot of wrestlers today. And honestly, I saw people talking about how jacked he looked on
Yep.
Twitter, and then I got a chance to see how jacked he is, and holy crap! Like this dude is. I mean he's been hitting the gym real hard over the last several months because he is he's looking in good shape right now. Probably the best shape he's ever been in, and that's I'm so happy for that guy because he was so loyal to the WWE, and things ended up the way that they did, and I'm just really happy that he's getting another chance. Excited to see what he does with that chance.
Yeah,
I think it's
absolutely.
that thing we always say where, the most dangerous people are people with a point to prove. And man, there's a few of them around just now after being let go, and he looks like one of them.
Yes. Yes, there are, man. Yes, there are. We were talking about the same exact topic last night during Impact. I really, I mean, you're seeing the excitement generated by Impact lately, and obviously a lot of it is due to all these people that have left WWE. And you're right. When you've got a purpose, and when like you said, when you've got a point to make, man, that's motivation. That is motivation. Before we go any further with Gary, I would be remiss if I do not say, with all of you guys, and I've said this already today, but I've got to congratulate my co-host and my partner on the Insiders, Jeff. He is now writing wrestling for Sportskeeda. Super exciting. Super exciting. I'm very excited for him. And again, I wish him all the best with that venture as well. I know Gary also does the same thing. So Jeff's got a little. I'm surrounded by two wrestling journalists. How cool is that? How cool is that? So yeah, Jeff, congrats, man. And I know that everybody out there that didn't know, Jeff had his first article out today. So I shared it out on Twitter. Check it out if you haven't already. But yeah, Jeff, congrats, man. And I know everybody in the community, along with myself, obviously Gary as well, are pulling for you and looking forward to seeing what you got coming out.
Yeah, I'm really excited, and really humbled by the opportunity. I want to give a huge thank you to Gary because he is he's been instrumental in this. So thank you, Gary, for giving me some advice and giving me that push. So thank you, sir.
No problem at all, man. Honestly, that's the kind of thing that I'm slightly annoyed at myself that I didn't suggest it earlier. I feel like we've gotten a little bit too far down that path now. I'm like, man, I should have suggested that weeks or months ago. But yet, really exciting. I've mentioned it to you yourself. Like, I got a little sneak peek of the first article before it came out, and I was like, man, this is just a really well written article. Everyone should check it out. It's the kind of thing that, you know, I always encourage anyone, especially if it's something like writing about wrestling or talking about wrestling. Man, if you're passionate about it, do it. And I've got a feeling you're going to be doing it for a long time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. All right, man. Jeff, let's move on to the topics on our list here that we've got for Gary. If you don't mind, what is our first topic for us today? We've got the Kairi Sane farewell. Gary, what did you think of this? Because, man, I'm going to probably not have a very nice talk about this a little bit later in the show. I thought she could have been written off better than it was. I mean, you just saw her in the back getting her head beat off of a garage door, pretty much, and then disappeared into the locker room. And then Asuka came out looking like, I don't even know. I can't even describe Asuka's reaction. I mean, I know obviously she said her goodbyes, and then WWE did write a nice passage to her back on Twitter. Are you happy with the way that she was written off? I know there was some things swarming around there, rumors, that maybe Shayna was going to take her out, and that would be the way that she would be, taken off TV, and that would kind of get a feud started between Asuka and Shayna. Well, that did not happen. So what did you think of Kairi's right off of TV?
You know that you're not being too harsh or too controversial when another WWE superstar criticises it. And Ember Moon did just that. She said she really didn't like it. Said it's a bit of a waste having all the gold on, both Sasha and Bayley, which I think that's, a whole other subject. But the Kairi Sane thing, the thing that Ember Moon said, I think was perfect on that, where she said there just wasn't enough jeopardy there for Asuka to have to make the decision. Her suggestion would be that Bayley, and I love this one, Bayley should have been sat in a forklift with a load of cinder blocks ready to essentially kill Kairi Sane, and that would have been enough to force Asuka, out of the ring and backstage to save her friend, because otherwise it's just a bit of a beatdown. Obviously in storyline it is going to be the way that Kairi Sane's written off TV, but it did just seem a little bit weak, considering, and this is no slight on Nia Jax, but considering the injuries that have happened, particularly in the ring with Nia Jax over the last few whatever months with Kairi Sane, for her to be written off just by getting thrown into a shutter is not very good. But the one thing that, that kind of thing's always secondary. The main thing is the reason for Kairi Sane leaving is her husband is in Japan. She wants to go be with her husband. I believe, I'm not certain on this, wants to start a family. And I'm always a silver linings kind of guy. I absolutely hated the full segment. But the one thing I'll take from it is, the outpouring of support we've seen from WWE superstars has been great. But my favourite thing ever was the line that WWE used in the WWE.com article. It's normally the wishes them the best in their future endeavours. This was WWE sends its best wishes to Kairi Sane as she sets sail on her next voyage. I was like, man, that is just a wonderful sign-off. So I'm going to say that I liked that part and hated the angle, but that part is the lasting impression, and normally the last impression is the lasting impression.
Yeah. We're going to discuss this a little bit in length later on in our debate segment of the show. And yeah, you're going to maybe want to turn down your headphones for me when I get to that point. But yeah, obviously I wasn't thrilled with it. I had to think about that match a little bit all together. I was really not liking the entire thing. But then I'm like, okay, well, they mentioned Stephanie McMahon early on. So, maybe Stephanie is going to get back involved with this a little bit. Maybe there's going to be something else she's going to do to, obviously another rematch with Asuka and Sasha. I don't know. I really don't know where this is going, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it did make both of them, I guess, look okay where they were. But yeah, I just didn't understand the whole thing of getting back there when she's beating her head off of a garage door. I mean, we've seen as wrestling fans, we've seen a ton of worse things happen to people in the back where, it didn't warrant people going back there to save them. Except for this. So yeah, I wasn't really thrilled with it either. Jeff, what did you think? I know we're going to talk about it a little bit later on, but what did you think of the farewell that Kairi got?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be brief since we're going to talk about it a little bit later. But I thought in terms of, the angle, I wasn't as big of a fan of that. Because again, like you just pointed out, we've seen situations where wrestlers have been in a lot more dangerous situations than Kairi was last night. Monday night. My days are running together. But yeah, I think we've seen far worse situations. So I didn't really like that. But then the article, like Gary said, really was a nice personal touch for Kairi. It wasn't the cookie cutter article that they normally give when someone leaves the company. So I really like that. And I also love seeing the other wrestlers kind of pay their tributes on social media to Kairi as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I mean, obviously mixed reactions. I know you guys have a lot of mixed feelings about this too, because I was watching your posts on Twitter after this match ended. A lot of you didn't necessarily care for the match, and I would probably have to agree with most of you. It took me a while to kind of digest it all, but yeah, I agree with both of you. Again, I don't like how it went down, but again, yeah, WWE was classy with their goodbye. So that's always good to see as well. Rusty says the insiders have their own news network. INN, baby. Yes, I like it. I like the sound of it. What do we have up next, Jeff? Aleister Black. The rumors are that Aleister Black. Oh God, we saw this on Monday. Seth, I said Seth is going to have to call himself the Messiah with the Meseye and an AH at the end. Because I mean, how many times are we going to see this guy take out people's eyeballs? This is just a thing now, I guess. But look, I enjoyed the kendo stick with Dominic. I like that part of it. Obviously, yes, he made Murphy do it. So it wasn't Seth this time; it was Murphy, and that was kind of cool, I guess, because it could be leading to something else down the road. A little bit of tension there between the two of them. So now I've read rumors, and Gary, again, I'm going to ask you because obviously you're the expert on this kind of stuff. So have you heard anything about? I've read in different publications that Aleister is going to be either taken off TV, or this might be another relaunch of his character. What are you hearing about Aleister Black?
So a lot of different reports swirling around about this. I've not heard anything personally on this one, but the people that I've heard mention the stuff are reputable people. The first one everyone will know of is Dave Meltzer. He'd kind of reported that Vince was unsure on Aleister Black. But the main kind of source, I think I've mentioned this guy on here before, a guy called Alex McCarthy from TalkSport, and he, if he doesn't think something is 100%, he doesn't report on it. But he reported that the rumours surrounding Vince not liking Aleister Black are definitely, untrue, unfounded. He said that the actual story is that Vince loves Tom Budgeon as a person. He loves, Aleister Black as a character as well. He just thinks, and this is where it gets a bit bizarre, he just thinks there's a ceiling for the character. Now, the reason I say that is bizarre is because I don't think Aleister Black is a million miles away from the one man Vince McMahon has relied on for 30 years and The Undertaker. I believe they're kind of similar character-wise. I don't see what concerns you could have about a character having a ceiling when, you've been pushing a guy that's a wizard for the past 30 years. But yeah, it's a really odd one because I go back to 2 weeks ago. Seth Rollins beat Aleister Black clean. Now, no one else has beaten Aleister Black clean one-on-one. It's always been either a tag team match or there was that the 3-on-1 handicap match between the Good Brothers and AJ Styles, where it was essentially a gauntlet match that Aleister Black lost his third match of the night against AJ Styles. So for me, they should have definitely made more of that because it does both Aleister Black and Seth Rollins a disservice if you're not putting over how important and monumental the victory was. But yeah, it seemed like they writ him off TV by breaking his arm. Then he came back this week with the broken arm and, in a big bandage, and then seemingly got my favourite term of the last few weeks, global luxation. We'll see if that's the thing that he's going to suffer from as well. Again, one of these words that you'll never hear of, and then you'll hear it 300 times on WWE television, just because that's the way things are. But yeah, it's really strange. I feel like everyone kind of knows, it's common knowledge, Aleister Black was always a Paul Heyman guy. So it was on SmackDown, same as people like Apollo Crews, Liv Morgan, on SmackDown, not doing anything at all, and then requested a move to Raw, went to Raw. Paul Heyman was obviously a massive fan and pushed him. And the thing we might be seeing might be just the fact that Paul Heyman isn't there any longer, so there isn't that long-term plan there. And when that happens, people can get caught in limbo. But for me, I think he's, one of the most exciting, particularly when he's in NXT, one of the most exciting superstars WWE has. He looks so different. Obviously, he's married to Zelina Vega, so they are definitely the kind of people that are probably going to want to be in WWE together for a long time. So I don't know why they wouldn't just push the guy, because he's definitely got everything. I think he's an amazing, amazing character, incredible in the ring. But yeah, who knows? I guess we'll need to wait and see if he comes out with an eye patch on next week and one arm.
WWE is going to run out of eye patches. Oh my goodness, what is the infatuation with the eye stuff? I don't know.
And it's not that we're getting all of this when they've just let the pirate princess leave. So,
Oh my goodness, I don't know. Did Vince have a really bad eye infection and he's just taking it out on his poor wrestlers here? Oh man, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the eye stuff, man. Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. Look, again, I've seen this in a few places, and well, at least we heard that the rumors aren't true, that he's given up on him, so that's good, because obviously he's too big of a talent to just give up on him. They've had him in some really rough storylines. I mean, that one that he was, asking people to come and challenge him and all that business, like, yeah, like he's been in some really bad stuff. They really need to just get him involved in something good. I mean, having him involved with Seth is great. I mean, I love Seth as a heel, and obviously he can get these guys over, no problem, being the heel. So having him involved with Seth is great. But yeah, I am the eye thing, man. I don't know, the infatuation, man. Just got to stop with the eye thing. Oh man, Jeff, what's up next, buddy?
I'm laughing at some of these comments over here. They're
okay. Pink eye says Rusty. Yeah. Oh, dude, I know. We are talking a little bit of Impact next. Obviously, we heard that Impact will be working with New Japan. So we heard this from Gary when the Good Brothers had said they were signing with Impact, that one of the conditions was that they want to work in New Japan as well. Now it seems like this partnership might be a little bit more than what was initially thought, Gary, right?
Yeah, really, really one that came massively out the blue. So it all started with, like you said, the Good Brothers obviously signed to work in Impact. They have signed a contract, not on a appearance deal or anything. They are officially Impact Wrestling talent. But one of the things that they have in their contract is that they can and will work in New Japan when it is likely possible for them to do so, essentially when the travel restrictions are lifted. So I had the chance to interview the Good Brothers. I was going to say last week. It wasn't. It was 2 days ago. That shows how time is passing by. So I got to interview the Good Brothers, and of course I had to. It was a good chat. I said to them, full disclosure, I put out an article that you guys had signed with Impact before the official news came out. So maybe it's a good thing that I'm on the other side of the planet and not going to get a magic killer. And they said it's fine because the magic killer is the most cushioned wrestling move you can ever take anyway. So don't worry about it. But yeah, they were brilliant, just the way you would expect them to be. But I did, of course, ask them. One of the things that I had heard was that you guys have it in your contract that you can go and work in New Japan. And they said, yep, 100% true. And before I even got there, they'd said that they were actively pushing for Impact and New Japan to work together. They said they would love that to happen. They really want it to happen. They want a load of wrestlers from New Japan and Impact and vice versa. The people that they'd mentioned was they wanted to bring over people like Tama Tonga, a lot of the bigger Bullet Club talents who hadn't been really kind of shown on American TV, apart from, I guess, in the odd Ring of Honor episode when that was going on. They want to bring them over. They want Eddie Edwards versus Tanahashi in some kind of main event. I was like, man, you're selling me on everything here. So, of course, I take that as, like, I'm not sure if they're just working, because obviously it's the kind of thing that they don't leave any money on the table. They are the people who maximise everything. They were telling me how they want AJ Styles and Impact and all that. So they were obviously saying things that weren't going to be like 100% accurate stuff that's going to happen, but would get headlines, which is great for me, but you never know how true the story is. However, it's quite interesting when you think of who's in charge of Impact now. Obviously, both companies have worked together in the past and it didn't go well, but now Impact, Don Callis, who has a long-standing relationship with New Japan, is one of the VPs, as is Scott D'Amore, who also has a long-standing relationship with New Japan. So there's a good chance it could happen. The one little addition to that is today I had the pleasure of interviewing Tama Tonga, who of course is from New Japan and is really good friends with both Gallows and Anderson. Now, I didn't know what he was going to say to it because I know of the stuff that's happened in the past. There's a lot of rumours about, Anthem, who owns Impact, maybe being the reason why New Japan is no longer on Access TV, stuff like that. But he said he would love there to be a partnership. He said, yeah, definitely. And he believes that Gallows and Anderson are the two guys to make it happen because they've got such respect in Japan. They know how Japan works, and obviously they've got a lot of respect in Impact as well. So, man, I think it's really exciting. I always say that I would love to see more of New Japan. It's just on a very awkward time for me in Scotland. It's on at like 8 a.m. So I'm never going to get to watch it live. But if there was a partnership, if we could see some kind of, New Japan invasion of Impact or vice versa, that would be incredible. And that would be like a game changer. That would be a needle shifter for both promotions, I think.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And yeah, like you, people have asked us if we could stream New Japan. I'm like, yeah, I don't think so, man. 3:00 in the morning? Nah, I'm good. just a little bit too early in the AM for us to do that. But yeah, this could be a big thing. And like Gary had said, if they are. If that does get broadcast on Access TV, then of course that would be awesome. I can obviously always DVR it and be able to watch it, so that would be amazing. But yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a big partnership for both of them. And obviously, like I said, I've mentioned you guys before, and obviously we do the watch-alongs now on Tuesdays for Impact, and I really think Impact is going places. And just to associate with New Japan through these guys, yeah, I think it's a great thing for both places as well. Jeff, what do you think, man? You think this is going to go places for both of these organizations?
Man, I almost fell out of my chair when Gary was talking about it, because just the possibilities, discussing the possibilities are, I mean, it's like a fantasy booking dream. So do I want to see more of the Bullet Club shown on American TV? Absolutely. Do I want to see some exciting matchups? Yes. And honestly, I know that a lot of people were talking about AEW and New Japan partnering up. I I believe that Impact is probably the better partner at this point. Just because I think there's you don't have all of the history there. A lot of guys that are in AEW have been over in New Japan, but I think we've seen a lot of that before. But I just want to see these two companies work together. I'm so excited to see it because I think that if American fans were able to see um, if they were able to see New Japan a little bit more, then I think the appreciation for that company would just skyrocket here. I mean, there are a lot of people that are diehard fans that watch it at 4 o'clock in the morning and whatever crazy time it comes on here sometimes. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I just think being able to see them, come over here or vice versa, I'm sold. I'm sold on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. I think it's going to be good for both sides. And yeah, Impact just has a really high ceiling, I really believe. I think they're going in a lot of the right directions. And I think it's just, I think sky's the limit now. So yeah, I think it's going to be great for both sides. And what do we got as our last topic with Gary? And we can let him go and get a good night's rest
And go
before
to
his
sleep.
work tomorrow.
Yeah.
We've got because we haven't been able to talk to you in a while, so we got the Bray Wyatt stuff, right? Never a bad thing to talk about Bray. We mentioned this on our Abby's Window show this past Monday, and I just kind of wanted to run this past you because I think it's a pretty cool theory. So obviously we saw the results from the Swamp match and what happened there. Then we got the Funhouse, and we see that the Fiend is obviously kind of back in control again. Rumors flying around that the Fiend's going to kind of go nuts and attack some different people over the next couple of weeks until Braun comes back. Also, though, we kind of paired this up with what if they're building toward Fiend and Randy Orton? Because obviously now we saw, we even said it. All right, does Randy challenge Drew? Because we were talking about this before WrestleMania, and obviously he challenged Drew, and the challenge was accepted. So, Randy wins that title, and then Fiend goes and beats Braun. Title versus title at Survivor Series, and man, everybody that's a Fiend fan is begging for a match with him and Randy Orton. This is like the big one, the big one that everybody's waited for. So I know we had rumors, way back earlier in the year before Undertaker, said his goodbyes and farewells that, maybe he was going to face Bray at Survivor Series. But what would you think of a match between Randy and Fiend, title for title, or not, just champion versus champion at Survivor Series, no titles on the line? But what would you think if that happened this soon? I mean, do you think it's a possibility?
As long as they don't project maggots onto the ring again, I would love it. Yeah, no, actually, I didn't even mind that match. I quite liked it. I know a lot of people hated it, but I didn't mind it too much. But yeah, I think when you open up the possibility of, obviously, the Fiend has never faced Randy Orton, I think Randy Orton is one of the best things about wrestling right now. A lot of people will obviously say, Sasha Banks and Bayley have been the people that have been carrying WWE this year, if you want to say that, and Drew McIntyre as well. But for me, Randy Orton is, when he's switched on, when he cares, there is nothing like it. He's absolutely incredible. So you put Bray Wyatt in that same bracket because the character work he does, I mean, man, I even said that. I feel like I say it every time we see both The Fiend and Firefly Funhouse Bray. That juxtaposition between the two of them, when you see both of them together, you realise how special a talent he is. It's just insane, the fact that he can switch between those two characters. And then you add in all the other ones, obviously the Follow the Buzzards Bray and everything else that he does. I think it would be a superb match. The one little thing that I've noticed, and again, this could easily be written off as soon as this week or however long away, but we've still not seen Bray Wyatt in a performance centre since right before or right after, WrestleMania. Yep. So we've been seeing all the Firefly Funhouse segments. Obviously, they've been recording matches that are not in the performance centre. So I'm not really certain what the situation is there. There have been rumours going about. The one that I'd heard this, I didn't think it was true, and I asked about it, and it was that Bray doesn't want the title because he doesn't want to be on the road. I get told that's not true. It's just not really part of the situation right now. But in saying that, it is still in a rivalry with the Universal Champion. You'd have to think something's got to happen at SummerSlam. We're definitely leading to a Fiend Braun Strowman match somewhere. That's got to be the way. There's no way they can't do that match after what we've seen recently. The odd part is that I don't really know where Otis fits into this. I don't know if he fits into this. But yeah, I think that's the one little kind of niggle I've got, is that I'm like, we've still not seen Bray Wyatt. And I mean, the guy has just, had his second kid and all that stuff. So I wouldn't blame him for not wanting to. If he doesn't live in Florida, I wouldn't blame him for not wanting to be there if that is the case. But the one little thing that I've still got in my mind is we've not seen him in the Performance Centre. That being said, SummerSlam might not be in the Performance Centre from what we've heard. That's a whole other story. We could have the Fiend wrestling on a beach or on a ship with the stuff we've heard recently, so that could be fun. But yeah, for me, I think that match would be absolutely brilliant, especially for, I keep mentioning it, where Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton at SummerSlam that's a money match because it is the biggest face in the company versus the biggest heel in the company for my money right now. If you look at Survivor Series, if you had, the Fiend versus Randy Orton, that's yet another one of those matches that you put on that card and you say, right, there's probably nothing that could main event over that match. And that's the way that I kind of am right now. Unless they pulled the trigger on Sasha Bayley at SummerSlam, that's what Drew McIntyre Orton is. I feel the very same way about Bray Wyatt as the Fiend against Randy Orton at Survivor Series. That would be incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. The storyline and I mean, even that if that kind of starts a storyline and they go from there and it kind of goes a little bit longer to, I don't know, can they carry it to next WrestleMania? If that goes on a while, we'll see. But yeah, no, I agree. I think that I don't. And to your point about him not being there, I've mentioned this too. I mean, you have to understand, we have not seen, I mean, we saw Funhouse Bray and Braun, but other than that, we have not seen The Fiend wrestle. I mean, this guy hasn't wrestled since Daniel Bryan. So, and like Gary said, if he doesn't want to be there, then that becomes a problem because then every match he's going to be involved in has got to be a cinematic match. So if they're going to do another one at SummerSlam with him and Braun, which of course they can, but then that becomes an issue. So how are you going to carry a title if you can't be there? And like Gary said, he might be at a point where he might just not want to risk it. And if that's the case, we'll see. I guess we'll see how this plays out and see how this goes. If Fiend shows up on SmackDown in the next week or so, well, then maybe he's changed, and maybe that's not the case. But if he doesn't, and we just keep getting vignettes from Bray, then that could be a sticking point for sure. Oh man, so much going on. Just incredible the amount of wrestling stuff that is always going on. And Gary's always on top of all this stuff, guys. You heard him. He talked to the Good Brothers. That's amazing. So again, man, we really appreciate your time. I know you've got a ton of stuff going on. And like always, thank you for coming on our show. We really appreciate you staying up with us, and I know our community loves it too. And last few weeks they're saying, where's Gary? Where's Gary? So, but we really appreciate you coming on, man. Can't thank you enough for doing that and giving us some of your opinion on all these current events going on in wrestling.
No, thank you, guys. Just very glad that I could stay awake this time, which is, the kind of thing I feel like I had the 2 weeks of sleeping early. Now I will never sleep early ever again, and we'll be fine. We'll be back here talking every week about wrestling.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, thanks, buddy. And you have yourself a great rest of your night. And I'm sure everybody will be checking on your site to see what is going on with you during the rest of the wrestling week and into next week as well. So thanks again, man, for coming on. Really appreciate it.
You too, guys. Take care, and thanks again for having me on.
Absolutely, man. So there you go, guys. That is Gary Cassidy. And again, we are really, really glad to have him on the show. Gary really brings a great perspective and lets us know, what he's heard and things he's heard that are going on in the world of wrestling. So really, really glad that Gary could be with us today and we could discuss some of these topics with him as well. Let me shout out some, I know some other people joined us. We got Dave in Real Life. Hello. Moda is here. Welcome to the stream. We had some more fighting going on in our chat. Jesse Callan joined us as well. Who else is here? I know I saw some new names. Oh, Darren is here. Welcome to Darren. Darren 4785. I saw somebody pop in somewhere along the line, but I mean, the chat may have run its course. So, welcome to everybody who has joined us since we started with Gary. And I hope you enjoyed all of the breaking news. So we'll see what happens with all of these things. And so let's talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing on Saturday, shall we? We are, and of course, Jeff and I have been loving Impact. We really have. I've been really impressed with what Impact has done. You guys that have joined us on our watch-alongs on Tuesdays, I know you guys all can talk about that also and confirm what I'm saying. You guys have seemed like you've had a very good time with Impact lately. We have too. And Saturday, 9:00, we are doing Talking Shop-a-mania. Sounds like an ad, doesn't it? For a I don't know, some kind of home gizmo that you see late at night on TV. But this one is going to be very different. It is a mature pay-per-view event. They're going to be doing some cinematic stuff, but this is probably not going to be for the kids.
No.
At least it's what it's looking like.
It's not going to be for the kids.
Yeah, we're going to be having some fun with this. Again, if you look at the poster for it, a lot of people on here. Chavo Guerrero, of course, the Good Brothers, Rhino. Oh, man, so many people. Hornswoggle is in there. People we have not seen in quite some time. So this looks like it's going to be a fun event, really fun. And look, sometimes it's just, like we saw when we watched Impact last night, Wrestle House. I loved it. I thought Wrestle House was great. And that's what it is. It's just all about the fun, just having some fun, a little bit of a different thing. And that's never a bad thing. So yeah, we're going to enjoy this one. So make sure you join us. If you like Impact, especially, come on over. But otherwise, even if you just want to check out something different, something fun, have a little laugh or two along with us, that will be this coming Saturday at 9 p.m. Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, what I wanted to say is just to give everybody a little glimpse of, well, first off, before I go there about talking Shopomania, I have written an article on Impact that should be out in the next couple days. So as soon as that's out, I will post it on my Twitter and we'll make sure everybody can find it. Now, going to what I really wanted to talk about here. Just to get a glimpse at what we're going to see on Saturday night. The big LG wrestles under the name of Sex Ferguson. Not making this up. He has on a captain's hat that has sex across the front of it. So that's only a little taste of it. And if you really want to see how crazy they're going to be, go to either the Big LG Doc Gallows Twitter or go to Machine Gun Carl Anderson's Twitter, and you can see a little trailer there. I can go ahead and tell you they're poking fun at the Undertaker.
Oh yeah,
the clip that they put out today. Sex Ferguson is sitting in this room, and the lights are flickering on and off. And when the camera first goes on him, he's got his eyes rolled back in his head like the Undertaker. And yeah, so yeah, just check it out because we're gonna have a lot of fun. Possibly Moto, possibly Sex Ferguson may be related to Turd Ferguson. I don't know. But this is going to be so much fun. And I'm really looking forward to this because this is something else, like in terms of Impact. Like we see AEW and WWE, and sometimes we get some entertaining things. But the one thing that I can say about Impact and also about this event, Talking Shopomania, is that they're keeping us entertained. There's something for everyone. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this. I need to get a good laugh in this week, so I can't wait till Saturday night.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun event. It really is. I'm looking forward to it too. Obviously, poking a little bit of fun at the Boneyard match. And yeah, I think it's going to be a fun time. And like I said, hey, who can't use a little humor? Even it's a little bit of raunchy humor. Listen, guys, I grew up with some raunchy comedians when I was younger. I had listened to Andrew Dice Clay, one of the most raunchy comics. Yeah, Richard Pryor, yes, classic. George Carlin back in the day. I mean, these guys that was the era of some raunchy comedy. And man, I'll tell you, the first time I heard Dice's album, oh my God, I couldn't stop laughing. With those dirty poems that he would do and the dirty, oh, it's so good. So good. Yeah. Could not stop laughing when I heard a lot of that stuff. But yeah, it's always good to get, like I said, get a little humor in your life. So make sure, yes, the nursery rhymes, Rusty. Yeah. That man got banned from MTV and I was there to watch it. So Dennis Leary. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. Man. But yeah, this is going to be fun. So make sure you come and join us on Saturday night.
And to add in, Eddie Murphy before he started doing family movies.
Yes,
Raw
absolutely.
and Delirious. Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
yeah. Yep. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Oh, so good. So good. Yeah, the comedy from the late 70s through the 80s and then into the early 90s. They had some really, really great stand-up comedians, legends, really, of stand-up comedy. So, yeah, but this is going to be fun. This is absolutely going to be fun. So we just wanted to mention it, let you guys know that we will be doing that on Saturday night as a watch-along as well. So, Jeff, I think it might be that time.
I think it is that time, Joe. I think it's time for us to go inside the ropes. What do you think?
I think it's about that time. Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right. So you know what? Just like we've all wanted to do since this started, let's go ahead and talk about this so we can be done with it. Um, the bar fight. Uh, the bar fight was a good finale to the feud between Sheamus and Jeff Hardy. Sell or no sell?
Oh man. Well, you know what? I've been super critical of this for a long time since it started. I never ever liked this storyline. I didn't like it going into the bar fight, but um, I enjoyed the bar fight. I really did. I enjoyed the ending. Obviously, we got a sighting of what. Yeah, I got a sighting of what looked like Jeff Hardy's other persona coming out a little bit. Did we see maybe a little bit of Willow in there? But yeah, I was pretty happy with the fight overall. I thought it was done well. They used all the things, and I mean, I was chuckling when Jeff was hitting Sheamus with basketballs from the little basketball hoop machine, and then of course they went in the toilet, and we knew that stuff was going to happen there. So yeah, I thought it was a good ending. And but listen, don't get me wrong. This better be the end. That better have been the end of this feud. I do not want to see this going on any longer. End it where you ended it. We got the conversion of Jeff Hardy's character. If that was what we were going for, then let's end this now. We've seen enough. I think it's run its course, and I think it's time to say goodbye to this feud and have both of these guys move on. What did you think of it, Jeff?
I'm gonna be short and sweet here. I loved it because I thought that the match was actually not that bad at all. It was um, exactly what you expected it to be. Very physical. Um, Glad that Jeff picked up the win. I want this to be over because I hated it from the start, and yeah, I just need to. We just need to move past this. So, for the love of all things holy, please let that be the last of what we see between these two. Because if not, I'm going to poke my own eyes out. And I don't need Seth Rollins to do it. So
Jeff's going to find a set of ring steps. We
yeah,
don't
I'm
want
just gonna yeah,
we don't
I'm
want
gonna
that to
have my
happen.
own eye for an eye match.
Oh yes, yeah. This has to come to an end. I think
Yeah.
we've seen enough. Let's move on. C says I love the fact the bar obviously shopped at the same place as WWE for ladders. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh man, Nails is here. I'm here, popping in here to I'm heading to chat. Oh, big love to all. Warhorse rules ass. Yes, he does. That was a great match, by the way. Warhorse is cool. I like that character as well.
Yeah.
What is up next, Jeff, in our debate segment?
Um, I might save your heel turn for a little bit here. Let's
Okay.
go. Let's go with Karrion Cross.
Mm.
Um, Karrion Cross has been booked too powerfully. Sell or no sell?
Oh man. Well, this is a tough one because I love the character. Facts would say probably yes. No, you know what? No, I'm gonna no sell this one. I'm gonna stick with my instincts on this one. No sell. I look. I like Karrion Kross. I love his character. I love what he's doing with the character. One of the best entrances I've seen in a long time. I love when Scarlett comes out. He's kind of on the screen as he was tonight, talking to Keith Lee. He's not even there. Scarlett comes out to the ring. Scarlett's absolutely amazing. I love the gimmick. I love the character. Now, what's going to happen with him and Keith Lee, I don't know. And of course, we talked about this earlier. Is this booking into a corner? Because you've got two really hot guys right now. So, what are they going to do here to make sure both of these guys don't lose any momentum that they've gained? I don't think so. I mean, look, we knew right from the start, and I said this, guys, we knew right from the start that Vince McMahon had said they are, this guy's being fast tracked. Not Vince, sorry, Triple H had said he's being fast tracked. And so, look, he's going by what he said. He obviously is being fast tracked. So, no, I'm good. I'm good with the way that they have this character. Let it go. Let's see what the feud with Keith Lee brings. I kind of don't think they're taking that title off of Keith Lee so soon, though. So, whatever's going to happen there, let's hope that, it could even be derailed because obviously, Keith Lee accepted the challenge, but who knows? Who knows leading up to it, what's going to happen? Maybe something will derail it a bit, or maybe they'll face each other and just have some kind of screwy finish happen where, the title isn't lost or doesn't change hands and both guys come out of it still looking good. But yeah, no, I'm no selling that. I think it's good the way that they're going with it. What do you think?
Real quick, I agree with you. C said it. Nails said it. And I'm going to just throw this out there. NXT needs to push someone like this. They need to be behind someone. They should have done this with Keith Lee before now. Like, he should have been the one to get this type of push where he looked dominant and, instead of wrestling all these 5-star matches, which we're very happy with. I'm not complaining with that. But the man is dominant. So he should have been pushed that way as well. But I don't have a problem with this because you need to have this guy to go up against someone like Keith Lee. Like, you've got to have a powerful, darn near unstoppable force to go against Keith Lee because Keith Lee is so freaking talented. Not only is he powerful, but he's agile. And his ring awareness and his skills are just second to none. So you've got to have a guy like this to serve as like the perfect foil for Keith Lee. So I don't have a problem with how they've booked Karrion Kross just yet. I don't necessarily want to see them face off so soon unless someone has plans for one of these guys to go up to Raw or SmackDown before we thought or anticipated. But yeah, I don't have a problem with it, so no sell from me.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. I think they're doing exactly what needs to be done with him. It's. I think they've got some good stuff going on. What is up next, man?
All right, so I'm gonna save your heel turn because I'm gonna give you a little bit of a break here. With this one, so Chris Jericho calling himself the Demo God is in good fun. Sell or no sell?
Oh boy. Well, he's got merch now. Out of.
I'm gonna get to that.
Yeah, he's got T-shirts. Man, I like Jericho. I always did. I'm gonna let you have this one because I know I kind of think I know what you're leading to, but yeah, I look. I like Jericho. I do. I think Jericho talked earlier this week. I think it was about because somebody asked him if he was ever going to go back to WWE, and he had said no. He doesn't have any intent on doing that. He said, but he did say that he's good friends with Vince, and he said he learned a lot from Vince. So I don't see why I shouldn't believe that. I think Jericho's his own dude. I think he just does what he thinks he needs to do at certain particular times that he needs to do it. He's always done that. Even in WWE, so I think it's in good fun. Yeah, I'm okay with it. I think again, Jericho, like I said, is his own guy. I think he does what he wants to do when he wants to do it, and I think this is just more of the same. So yeah, I'm gonna sell this because yeah, I think it's he like I said, he can get a little crazy, he can get a little out of hand, but you know what? I guess maybe I look at it too, like I don't know, maybe I just give Jericho a pass a lot of the times with this kind of thing because look, the man he's one of the best, and he's going to go down as being one of the best. He generates so much pub and stuff wherever the guy goes. The times he's come back to WWE over the years was just incredible. My goodness, when he was coming out trolling everybody on a week-to-week basis was incredible. So many people just getting irritated at the dude and kind of building up that hate. That was brilliant. Again, coming into AEW the way he did, carrying that title for a while. And now he's just generating heat on himself and kind of getting Orange Cassidy over, which is, that's pretty cool. Orange Cassidy's not even was kind of an afterthought, really, just kind of comic relief until he wrestled Pac. And now, Jericho's kind of getting Orange Cassidy over a bit here. So now I'm good. I think that I think Jericho is, like I said, I think he's his own guy and he's always going to be that way. So I'm good with it. What about you, man?
All right. So before I start, because I might take a minute or so, I want to preface this by saying I don't have the problem with Jericho. I don't have a problem with Jericho doing this part of it. So the part that I have a problem with, and I'm going to no-sell this, so the part I'm going to no-sell is the fans and certain people out there that are very supportive of AEW. And I won't call any names because I guess now I probably shouldn't do that. Given what I'm doing now, it could probably affect things. So I'm not going to call names. But what I'm going to say is this. Unless you're a TV executive for TNT, what do the ratings really matter to you? Is it putting money in your pocket? Are you winning as a fan? Are you winning the demo wars between the two companies? Like, are you personally benefiting from AEW or NXT winning on a given week? I don't think that any of us here or some of the people I see on Twitter are executives for TNT. So I'm going to go out on a limb, or USA. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, no, they're not executives. So if that's the case, what this boils down to is a pissing contest between NXT fans / WWE and AEW fans. Last time I checked, I don't really give a crap about a number. I don't give a crap about viewership. But since so many fans care about that all of a sudden since AEW came into existence, let's talk about it. The first several weeks when AEW was just putting the hammer down on NXT. Oh my gosh, can you believe how many viewers AEW got this week? They got 800,000 viewers. NXT only got 600,000. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Then when NXT came back and they won, hey, you know what? NXT got 200,000 more viewers, but hey, AEW won in the demos, so they won. They actually won. The overall viewership doesn't matter anymore because AEW won in another category. Stop being freaking hypocrites. Enjoy the damn shows and stop talking about ratings because guess what? You're not making any money off of it. And like Nels just said in the comment section, you're all being worked because if you actually think that these people hate each other, I got a bridge to sell you somewhere. I've got some oceanfront property in Iowa that I can sell you if you think that they don't like each other. So, with that being said, I'm no selling this whole thing because this, demo god thing is pretty funny. The fact that they have merch now for this is pretty darn funny.
Yep.
But the fans are taking this too far, and that's what makes this a very difficult situation to deal with because my goodness, I mean, it's not putting any money in your pocket, so I don't know why you should care about those numbers. But if you are going to care about them, be consistent. Be consistent with what you care about because certain people post, oh, well, yeah, so-and-so won the overall viewership this week, but in the demos, I don't care about the demos. I don't care. You know what I care about? A good quality wrestling product. Put on a good show for me and I'm happy. I don't care if 4 people watch your show. Give me a good quality wrestling show and I'm good. And I'm done now, Jeff. I will get off my
Guys, you can't always buy into everything. And I agree with Jeff there. You can't look, wrestling is a work business. They're going to work you guys. That's just how it goes. How many of you guys believed, and I'm not going to ask for a show of hands because I know you guys did. I saw it in the chats. How many of you believe that whole McAfee thing with Adam Cole? Guess what? It's a work. It was a work. They showed it tonight on the show. They Triple H came on and was talking about it. Oh, and then I think McAfee said, "We'll get him back on here and let's give him another chance." Come on, it's a work. It's a work. Look. You don't believe everything you read. That is what wrestling is, and that's why. Look, for those of you that are enjoying it, enjoy it. Those of you that want to fact find and you're digging in the dirt sheets and you're hanging on every word from Dave Meltzer or from Ryan Satin, whatever the case might be, guys, look, they're wrestling. When it comes down to it, these reporters are reporting about wrestling. And in many cases, these guys may also be reporting about works. They're not going to come out and spoil it and tell you, oh, this is stupid. This is a work. This isn't real. They're not going to do that. That's not their job. I mean, their job is to play along. So don't always believe everything you read because especially with wrestling, it doesn't work that way. This is what they do. They're working. And that's what it is. So, yes, I agree, Jeff. That's a great point. That's a great point. Moving along.
All right, now it's your turn.
Oh, my category of the night. He saved it for last.
Yes, I did.
I have to crack my neck before I start. Kairi Sane received a proper send-off. And oh, boy. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Listen. I'm gonna do you a favor. I'm gonna go real quick so you can
go ahead. Yeah, you go first
to do what you got to do.
You go.
I talked about this a little bit earlier. I'm kind of on the fence with this, but the only reason I'm gonna no sell this is I just feel like they could have done a little bit more in terms of having her on screen and doing something proper that way. C Wrestling actually brought up a good point, and we didn't point it out when he made this comment earlier. But could they have done that to preserve her character if there's ever an NXT Japan?
Yeah.
That that I I'm kind of being nice about that. So, but I'm gonna no sell it, and I'm just gonna turn it over to you, buddy, because I know you have a lot to say.
Uh, dear Lord, and no, no, and no, no, and no. I can't say that loud enough. No. Listen. This was horrendous. Horrendous. And I'm not even going to go into the details of the match. I get it. Are they extending the feud? Yes, Sasha and Bayley now are like Stone Cold and Triple H. They're holding all the belts. The storylines seem to all come back around, don't they? We remembered when Shawn Michaels did the same exact thing that they did with Sheamus and Jeff. It seems like they're pulling out old storylines. So, okay, I get it. Is Asuka done in the title chase? Probably not. Maybe Asuka gets involved with Bayley now because Bayley took out Kairi, and maybe she goes after that title. I don't know. But let's get to the ending of that match. Let's just ignore everything else with it. Let's get to the end. Asuka's in the ring. She's about to win the championship. She has Sasha on the ropes, right? She's about to win the match. And then suddenly the monitor from the back goes on. Okay, who the hell did that, first of all? Who put the monitor on right at that point in time to show Asuka, look what's going on? Did Bayley just stop beating her up for a couple minutes and run over to the truck and say, oh, put this on right now? I mean, is that what is that really what it is? And then, okay, so then the monitor goes on. She sees what's going on in the back. She sees her friend back there getting her head bounced off a garage door. The door wasn't even, it's a flimsy door. It's one of those long, flimsy garage doors that are aluminum and kind of go back and forth in the wind. Are you going to really try to convince me that was a big sustaining injury that's going to knock her off of TV? I mean, look, come on. People have done some stupid things and try to convince us that we're stupid and that we should just, settle for that. Oh, come on. And then Asuka's going to drop everything she's doing because her friend's head is going off of a door. And then she looks up and yells, Asuka, at the top of her lungs. Dude, I'm sorry. No, this was horrible. This was absolutely horrible. If I don't know who did the writing for this. I don't really know at all who did the writing for this, but no, she could have gone out in a much better way. Look, if you want Bayley to beat her up, fine, but have her beat her up a little worse than it was, but sitting there banging her head off of an aluminum door. I mean, have her hit her with put her through a table backstage, hit her with a chair for God's sake. I don't know, run her over with a forklift, anything would have been better than what we got. This was ridiculous. And then she was just sitting on the ground. There was no even fake blood. My God, there was no, we've seen people getting their eyes poked out on Raw for the past 3 weeks. Did Aleister Black start yelling for his friends to come and help me? Did he do that? Did Rey Mysterio do that and yell for his son? I mean, come on. This is just ridiculous. To have her slumped down, sitting up. Well, she wasn't even laying on the ground. She was sitting up straight on the floor with her head resting against a aluminum garage door and nobody could think is going to hurt regardless of what you do. And then you just see Bayley bouncing her head off of a door. No, this was absolutely not a good way for Kairi Sane to go out. And I'm not saying, look, there were rumors. I know, look, everyone reads the rumors. I just got done telling you that, right? So we read the rumors, and the rumors were saying this was going to be a different outcome, and that Shayna was going to beat Kairi up really badly, and then it was going to move on from there. I'm even fine with it not being that way. Obviously, they went in a different direction, and rumors were rumors, and that's fine. But the fact that you want to try to sell her getting her head hit off of an aluminum garage door, and that's why she's leaving. And then what was the thing with Asuka? What was the thing with Asuka when she walked out and she kind of looked in the camera and then just gave you that like she's hulking up? Like what was that? Like is that supposed to be her grief? That I don't know. She came out and made it look like Kairi's dead inside the locker room. Like, come on. It was just, I'm sorry, bad writing. Absolutely bad writing. And again, if this, if Pritchard's in charge of this kind of thing, C said, annoyed me on Raw. Show us Humberto being saved by Black. Where was Humberto and Black Lee? Yeah, like it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. And I mean, this woman's been a big part of your show. She was tag team champion. She's going away, and this is the way you write her off of TV. My God, come on, do better, please do better. I mean, if this is what we are getting now with the change in the writing, I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Do better. Yeah. So no and no and no again. This was awful. Absolutely awful. Awful. Look, I'm glad they sent her the message. I'm glad they said, and C's point to your point that C said about her starting, NXT Japan, yeah, okay. All right. I can buy that. Good point. But this was still just bad. Still just bad, and no respect for somebody who, was a big part of their roster and was a champion. And yeah, just to me, it seemed very, very, very disrespectful and an unkind way to send her off of TV for what might be the last time that we see her. So yeah, I'm done now.
Joe, I think you need this, Joe.
I can take a breath. Yeah. I'm good now. I'm good.
You can, you can take a breath now. You had some great points there. And yeah, I mean, it was just the one thing, and I know we've been putting Impact over big time lately, but the one thing I want to give them credit for, and I think WWE kind of needs to take a page out of, is you don't book everything and every feud the same way. They have to have their own stories. And this is something that we would see, like we actually saw this already. Yeah, when Kevin Owens got jumped by AOP. Like be more creative.
Yeah.
Be more creative.
Yeah.
If you're going to send someone off, do it in a grand way, especially if it's someone that's leaving on good terms. Mm-hmm. So, they need to kind of go back to the drawing board and really look at some different creative ways to do some different storylines, because I feel like some of the matches have been really good in this COVID era, but there's no originality, I don't think. I think the whole excuse of, well, we're just waiting on fans to come back to start doing some more storylines. Guess what? We don't know when that's going to be.
Yep.
So let's stop using that right now, and let's just go ahead and move forward and do something creative. Get as creative as you can and do something now. So
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's a great point. And listen, I know I've said I give respect to all these companies for putting on shows.
yeah,
I do.
yeah.
I absolutely do. I absolutely do. But it's gotten to the point where now we've been going through this since March. So it's March, April, May, June, July. We're March, April, May. We're 5 months in, and heading now to the end of the summer. It's look. It's not. This isn't going to end tomorrow. It's just not. Nobody said it is. So for the excuse to be coming out of wherever that we're waiting on fans doesn't cut it anymore. It just doesn't cut it because you got to move on. You got to be dealt with what you're dealt, and you got to move on, and you got to start doing it. If you want to stay doing this, and that is their choice. That is their choice. If they want to stay doing this now, then listen, you got to go balls out. And you got to give some better content. I mean, that's just ultimately what it has to be. If this is what you want to do, this is your situation now, not later, not 7 months from now. It's now. And here's one last thing. And, Vince, listen to me, okay? I know you'll never hear this ever. It's okay. Hire some different people. I respect Bruce Pritchard. I do. But it's time for some younger minds. It's time for some younger minds. Hire some women writers. Hire some younger writers. Get some fresh ideas in there. Even with, the choices were Bischoff and Pritchard. Go get some younger people. You've got some younger men and women who have been wrestlers. Maybe they can't wrestle anymore. Maybe when Edge is done, have Edge come in and do some writing. Just do something different. Get somebody else in there. Get some younger people in there, and change this up a bit. I mean, it's just stale. It's just stale. Like I said, it's just bad. Just bad writing. Just get somebody else in there. Get somebody else. Maybe when Bray retires someday, you can have Bray as a writer because obviously he does a better job than a lot of the guys that are in there now. Sean says crowd won't return for a while. Yes. General Snotty Naughty is thankful to have entertainment. Yeah, no, I agree. And I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that at all. Hire me for creative, says Sonny. Yeah, hire me, said C Wrestling. Liv Morgan for WWE champion, baby. Yeah, what happened to poor Liv? I haven't seen her in a while. Obviously, maybe Pritchard's not a fan. Nail says hire Danhausen. I love Danhausen. I hope he gets to wrestle Cody at some point. That would be awesome.
I do too.
Yeah, Modus says get some of us from the community in there. We could put on one hell of a show. Look, obviously fans. Look, fans can certainly come up with some great stuff. But I just think you've got so many people at your fingertips. People who have been, working for you before, have been involved in storylines before. My God, right? Call up The Undertaker. He's, if he's retired, he's obviously signed to a Legends contract. Call him up and say, hey, man, write us something. But, put something down. What do you think we can do with these guys? And have The Undertaker let you know what. There's a guy who can write some stories, I'm sure. But yeah, it's just, it just comes back to this, just too much. And yeah, yeah. So,
what they could do, and this can kind of be the last part, even if they don't bring these people on, the least that they could do is say, okay, you see the state of our company right now. You see the state of creative. Give us 10 ideas a piece that you would implement if we gave you the pencil today.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you they'd come out of that with so many ideas. But you said something very important. You said men and women. They need to have a woman writing.
I agree. Oh, absolutely. Yep, I agree. Hey, listen, you can have a woman writing for men. I am sure there are plenty of women who are writers out there that would love a job writing for wrestling, and I'm sure they would do an amazing job. Much better, I think, ideas and more modern ideas than these guys are having. Look, they're older dudes. So they're going to think old school. That's just what they do. Trust me, that's what I do. And I'm not up there with Vince. So that's just the way of thinking. When you're older, you're going to think old, and that's what they got to get past that. Because look, you're not showing this to guys that are between the ages of, you're not looking to impress the people that are between the ages of 45 and 65. That's not your audience. So just stop with I'm just going to do what the hell I want. And I'm go with the direction, go where I want to go. Just stop with that already. It's just it's old. Yeah. It's old, and it's just, needs to stop. Get off my lawn. Yes, I have to do a little Clint Eastwood. Get off my lawn. Yes. Do you guys have a topic you'd like us to debate? I ask you this all the time. This does not have to be wrestling related. So if you want, throw out some quick ones. I know we're getting late because we had a late night with Gary here. We had a lot of things to talk to Gary about. But if you have a topic you would like us to talk about, please let us know, and we will debate something. Dave in Real Life says Edge and Bryan have been rumored to already be in creative. I'm all for that. Daniel Bryan has had some great storylines in his career as well. So I'm all for that. And Edge obviously also. So that would be great. That would be absolutely great. I'm all for it. Non-wrestling, Nails. So if you want to do a non-wrestling topic, I was going to put one on Twitter, and honestly, I had forgotten all about it because we were a lot of things were going on. No, we're not going to debate Eva Marie, Dave's fan. So otherwise, you can also throw out some questions if you want. The Rosemary figure, fire.
Here it is.
Yes. Rosemary figures fire. Awesome. Just absolutely loved it. That was a cool surprise, man. Awesome. And very, very cool. Very, very, very cool. Sparkling water is gross. I can't say that, Sonny, because I drink. Well, I don't drink sparkling water, but I drink seltzer, which is kind of essentially the same thing. And I don't drink the kind that has. I do drink the kind that has the sweetener in it sometimes, but a lot of times I don't. So that's it'll have like a flavor, like I get orange vanilla seltzer sometimes, and that's as close to sparkling water as you're probably going to get. But no, I don't mind it. I think to me, I like fizz. I like drinking like a fizzy kind of a drink. I like the carbonation. So no, I can't say that it's lousy. But I can imagine people that aren't used to drinking it would. To me, something like tonic water is horrid. Yeah, right. Horrid. I've known people who drank gin and tonic. And I when I was younger, gin was one of my favorite drinks actually. But I could never drink tonic. Ugh, it's just so horrible and bitter just bad. Let's see. What do we have? We have the Insiders Wrestling Podcast. Who do you think will win the ladder match at TakeOver? Good question.
Moving on to questions now.
Yeah, we can go to we can mix and match.
Okay. Yeah.
Who do we have so far? We have Dexter Loomis.
Bronson Reed.
Yep.
That's it for right now.
I don't mind if either of those guys would win, to be honest with you. I like Loomis. You know what? Loomis was kind of a surprise to me because I thought it was going to be Finn Balor. I really did. I thought Finn was going to win that. but Loomis won it. So you know what? I'm going to go with Loomis. I think he's getting a pretty decent push. The last few weeks or so. So I'm going to go with Dexter Loomis.
Okay. I'm gonna go with a guy who's gonna be in action next week,
Okay.
and that is Damian Priest.
Oh yeah, good call.
I think that I think it's time for them to begin to elevate him, because he's got the look. I feel like he's got the skills in the ring, and I feel like he's got the skills on the microphone. So why not give him a shot to hold that belt for a little bit?
Yeah, that's a great call, man. That's a great call. Nails is saying, "How would I take over the world if I were an evil villain?" Well, I would get myself an infinity gauntlet, and I would, I would snap half the population away, and then the other half of the population, I would. Oh, I don't know. I'm the evil villain, huh? Evil villain. Joker, Chaos. I'm trying to just think. You almost remind me, whenever somebody says the word evil villain, you know what I think of? And this is really weird. I used to watch a cartoon called Inspector Gadget back in the day.
Yes.
Remember Inspector Gadget?
Yep.
Remember what was that? What was the villain's name? Oh, Dr. Claw.
Claw.
That guy's the epitome of an evil villain, and I'm not talking about the movie either. I'm talking about the cartoon years ago that they used to have. The guy who played. Oh my goodness, Maxwell Smart, I think, as the voice of him. But yeah, I always think of Dr. Claw. I don't know why, but I never saw his face. You just saw that evil-looking hand, which is like a metal hand, and then of course he had the pet cat. Dr. Claw, yes. I will take over the world, Gadget. So there you go, Dr. Claw. Now I'm coughing because that really killed my voice. I don't know how I would take over the world if I was an evil villain, but yes, I would make sure I found myself the Infinity Stones first, and then I would have the Infinity Gauntlet, and then I would just snap away half of the population, because then, of course, that would have the people in the world. And, pretty much with that kind of power, nobody's going to really argue with me at that point. So, yeah, that's how I would do it. And then she says, Jeff, how would you defeat him if you were the hero? A two-part question.
Real simple. Control C, what the Avengers did. Control V, paste that sucker. End of story.
Okay. All right. Okay. But see, I'll always come back in the sequel.
That's true.
B9 Gaming HD says fizzy water is basically carbonated water. Yeah, well, that's what it is. That's carbonated water. Yeah, I like carbonated stuff. I just always did. Should John Wick consider being a dog breeder when he retires? You know my theory about John Wick, and I'm sticking by it. John Wick is not John Wick. John Wick is Neo from The Matrix, and I'm sticking by that. And it would have even been, if those movies would have released at the same time, like they were saying they were going to, on the same day, it would have proven my theory. But yes, John is a big dog fan, and you don't mess with John Wick's dog. It's like that old song. You don't spit into the wind. You don't pull the mask off the Lone Ranger. And if you don't know who the Lone Ranger is, look him up. And you don't mess around with John Wick's dog. So there you go. Yes, don't mess around with John Wick's dogs. Tonic water is gross. Yes, Sean, it is. I totally agree. Reboots versus remakes.
Ooh, that's good.
That's a tough one. I'm kind of sick of them both, to be honest.
Yeah.
Hollywood, to me, is out of original ideas, which is a real shame. Because, again, like wrestling, There are a lot of people out there that have a lot of cool new ideas, but they're so hung up on remaking things now that they just get caught up in it. It's just too simple, I think, to do. I'm a big Star Wars fan, as I've said, and the last trilogy, Force Awakens, was and look, I'll admit it. It was a remake. It was a remake of the original, and I think J.J. Abrams admitted it. It was a remake. He just made Star Wars for a new generation, and I liked it. I enjoyed that movie, actually. It was the best one of the three. But I think they just need to stop with the come out with something new. There are so many topics, and so many, if you want to revisit something, I've seen it in Friday the 13th, and I'm a big Friday the 13th fan. The remake was not good. They tried to do 4 movies in one movie, and it just was, it comes up as kind of being nonsense to me. So yeah, I think both of them are just exhausted. I think I get it that they want to bring out more of a good thing, but yeah, just bring me something different, bring me something new. I'm seeing all this stuff. There's a movie like Blade Runner. I loved Blade Runner, the original one. Loved it. One of my favorite movies back in 1982, 81, 82, I think it was. Very ahead of its time. And then now they came out with the new one. Blade Runner, I think it was 2049 or something, was the recent one. And it didn't need to happen. It just didn't need to happen. Let movies like that alone. They don't have to constantly be bringing back stuff. So, but yeah, what do you think, man? I like I said, I think it just gets stale.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is this: when you get into the realm of remakes, the the one that I keep thinking about is Nightmare on Elm Street. The remake, I think it was 2009 or something like that.
Yeah, it was awful.
It was terrible.
Yeah, it was.
And it's like, if you've got a classic like that, don't remake it, please.
Yep.
But what you can do is you can spin it in a different direction,
right,
and reboot the franchise. So
yep.
give me another avenue as to how this can continue, as opposed to messing with the original work. And that's where I really get frustrated. Like that, that I'm trying to think of what else. The Omen, Friday the 13th.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's like, stop messing with the classics. But if you're going to do that, then give us a new story to bring new people into it, but also reward the fans of the original work.
Yeah, I agree. It was a good question. Good question, because it's really just all over Hollywood. But yeah, no, I agree. People like my Dr. Claw. That's good.
Yes.
Because my voice is suffering now. Penny and the dog were the main heroes. Yes. Isn't it funny how with cartoons like that, there was always the kids, and the kids were always looked at as being just afterthoughts, but they were the smart ones in the cartoon. They were. I agree. Fun fact, Wrestling Days fan loves the horn. Oh, he loves the horn. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's just why we keep doing it, we have to keep doing it. He would beat old Joe in his lawn with the power of new technology. Frank Welker was he really? Yep, I didn't know that. Frank that's Welker, cool. Yeah. So Megatron was, Frank Welker was Megatron, wasn't he?
I believe so.
Yeah, wow, that's cool, dude. So many of these voice actors were different characters along the way. I talked about that on my 80s podcast, because so many of them they played. Yeah, was he Megatron?
Yep, he sure
was.
I
thought so. Yeah, I mean, you hear so many of the same voices playing different characters. Like I think he also played the voice of Cobra Commander in GI Joe as well, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I think he was in GI Joe, but I don't know exactly who he played. But yeah, the voice actors are some of the, I mean, man, some of the greatest people. Mark Hamill, oh, so good with his voices, with the Joker and stuff like that. Just does an amazing job with voice acting. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Dave's fan says, "Don't mess with John Wick. He's not real. It's not really John Wick. I told you, he's Neo." What superstitions do I have? Well, definitely not Friday the 13th. I don't know. That's a good one too. I don't know that I have any. I mean, my mom used to tell me about those growing up. Obviously, don't step on a crack. Good Lord. And you're walking down the sidewalk. My mother's like, don't step on that. I don't know. I don't know if I do. I mean, the whole thing with walking under ladders and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I don't think I ever really bought into that, because I never really avoided anything like that. Like I said, I grew up with, I mean, my mom used to do all that stuff. You know, my mom, whenever we drove past if we ever saw like a dead animal on the road, my mom would bless herself, going past the cemetery, kind of like the same thing. So my mom was very much into a lot of that stuff. Yeah, no, I don't know that I do. I don't think I do. Do you have superstitions, Jeff?
Yes, quite
Okay.
a few.
Okay.
But most of them were when I was an athlete. So like when I was an athlete, especially in track and field, I had to wear the same exact outfit every single time. I had to wear the same jersey or singlet. I couldn't wear a different one. It couldn't be a different color. It
Oh
had to be the
yeah. Okay.
same it had to be the same every single time.
Okay.
Um, I had to get my wrist wrapped the same way every time, and I would always end it with one wrap to the right, tear the tape, one wrap to the left, tear the tape, and that was every time. Don't know why I started doing that, but that was my thing, and it kind of worked out well for me.
That I could see. Yeah, that I could see. I know athletes do have a lot of superstitions, a lot of different things that they do. So yeah, I can definitely see that. Sonny wants to know if I like Hamilton and Hadestown, the musical. I've never seen either one. I like certain musicals, but I never. My oldest daughter is big fan of Hamilton. And I'm guessing it's okay. I heard a lot of good things. I've just never seen it. I haven't seen a musical, to be honest, in a while. I used to like to go to them a lot when I was a kid. My mom worked in a dinner theater. So we were able to get in for free to see a lot of shows. And I saw a lot of shows growing up. And I enjoyed them. I enjoyed going to plays and stuff like that. So, yeah, I do like them, but I haven't seen either one of those. Never seen the new ones. John Wick, Rusty still on John Wick, becomes a puppy breeder. John Wick is in 2020. Yeah, well, everything got moved back. They were supposed to both be out this year, John Wick and Matrix 4, and they were supposed to be out on the same day with the same star in both of them. Hence my theory. They don't do that. They just don't do that. They've never done that with stuff before. So why would they do that? And why would they set it up where they were going to have John Wick 4 debut first, and then the Matrix would debut after? Yeah. Look into that theory if you've never heard it before, because it's on the internet. And I tell everybody that is not a real character. And there's a lot more clues to it as well. Matrix 4, yeah, Sean, they're supposed to come out on the same day. Supposed to come out on the same day. Moose sucks eggs. Yes. Rob Zombie dude, don't get me started about that god awful Halloween that Rob Zombie did. God awful. Part 2 was unwatchable. The first one, I watched it. I've seen it more than once. But it's not. Look, listen to John Carpenter talk about that movie, and you'll know exactly why I don't like it. He made Michael into Jason Voorhees. He turned him into a big, humongous guy that was, this unstoppable killing machine. That is not what Michael Myers was. Michael Myers was supposed to scare you because he was an everyman. He wasn't supposed to be 7 feet tall. He wasn't supposed to be this big, humongous dude. That's just not how he was supposed to be. And also, you weren't supposed to feel bad for the dude. And you kind of did. When you saw the backstory of the kid and, the kid at the asylum and the poor kid went crazy and you saw the whole backstory, you felt bad for him. And that's not how it was supposed to be. So no, man, I'm too much of a fan of the original. And to me, that was trash. That was just trash. Like I said, I watched it, but no, I can't go there. It was just, I'm a big John Carpenter fan, and I did not like that movie at all. What else? Disney Plus. Yes, I get Disney Plus for free for a year because I work for Verizon. Dave's going to bed. Yeah, we're gonna get out of here too, Dave. We've been on for a good amount now. It's past midnight. Once Upon a Time, Lucifer, Titans on Netflix. No, Sonny, honestly, I have not had time to watch stuff on Netflix. There's things I want to watch. I want to watch Altered Carbon. When I binge something, it's Stranger Things. I'll binge that right through. When that comes on, I watch it right through. So when it comes out whenever it's coming out, I'll watch the whole thing. Mandalorian on Disney Plus, I would have binged that, but of course they released one per week, and I think that's how they're going to do it from now on. But yeah, I when I binge hard. I just haven't had time to do it. Let's see. Jessie said she loves voice actors and voice acting. Part of one of my dream jobs. Yeah. Look, it's a very cool profession. There's a lot more of it going on now because of the animation stuff that they use. So yeah, absolutely. Dave says, fun fact, the dream doctor in Nightmare on Elm Street was the voice of Roger Rabbit. Oh, that's cool. I did not know that. Deanna and Ethan discussed this, and their superstition is the opposite foot. Okay, yeah, I could see that. Like I said, athletes have them. There's a lot of athletes that do have superstition, so absolutely. Will Heath beat Moose next week for the championship in contract, says Showtime Torres?
Yes.
I can see it. Yeah, I think so. Jeff obviously agrees with me. Yeah, I think so. I think he can. When will fans be at shows again? Gust wants to know. Oh, man, that's such a tough question. I don't know. That's hard. I'm going to say wrestling. I'm going to say next WrestleMania. I think is the target. I think next WrestleMania is the target because I just think that until they get a vaccine, I just don't think we're going to see it. I don't think we're going to see crowds out there until a vaccine comes out. And I think that, they're working on it. I know that. I read today that some companies working on it, testing monkeys. And I think they were saying that the latest test had 87% showed that they didn't get it or get it back again. So obviously it seems like they're making some progress, but that's when I think we'll see fans back in the building. I just don't think they could take the chance. I work in retail, and we were all told that they are not opening the store this year on Thanksgiving, which is great for me. But I don't think they're going to have the crowds and stuff like that in the buildings for Black Friday and stuff either. So I think all that stuff's going to get shut down as well. They just can't take the chance. Especially with the fall coming up and stuff like that. And, flu season coming back, they can't take the chance. General Snotty Nutty says, what I like about Michael is that he's normal. Yeah, that's the feel that John Carpenter was going for. He wanted to make him normal, that he could just be after anyone. And that's why he didn't like the whole thing about Michael having a sister, that Jamie Lee Curtis was his sister. He didn't like how they did that. When they did that in Halloween 2, because he didn't want it to be a particular target that he had. He just wanted to be anybody. And that's why it made that film creepy. Here's a quick little thing about Halloween. I have a Halloween documentary that I watched a few years ago. I still have it. It's good if you haven't ever seen it. But there was, when John pitched that movie, he brought it in and he had the studio watch it. And they watched it and they said it wasn't scary at all. There was no music in it. So they just watched the film and they said, well, this isn't scary. And then when Carpenter did the soundtrack and the music and stuff for it and put all the music in, they were like, oh, yeah, and now it's terrifying. So it's really funny, like how take the music out of a horror film. Put mute on your TV once when you're watching a horror film. Music really makes horror films. Absolutely makes horror films. And that was a prime example. Would never have come out if not for the soundtrack in it. So 7 a.m. Oh man, sorry, dude. Sorry, dude. Let's see. Nail says, ooh, let's talk Stranger Things and Mandalorian next series. Mandalorian, I'm excited because, again, Star Wars nerd. But they are supposed to have Ahsoka Tano, who, if you don't know who that is, she is Anakin Skywalker's Padawan from the Clone Wars, and she was in Rebels. If you are Star Wars fans and you have not seen either one of those, especially Star Wars Rebels, fantastic. Watch them. The guy who does those, his name is Dave Filoni, and that man is a Star Wars guru, and he's partly helping doing Mandalorian. So if you're liking that, that's why. But she's supposed to be in it, and Boba Fett is supposed to be in it for Empire Strikes Back. He is coming back. Everybody was pretty excited when they heard that, and he's being played by the actor who played Jango Fett in the prequels. So obviously he's a clone, and that's kind of what he would look like, I guess. So yeah, pretty cool though. Pretty cool. I'm excited for Mandalorian, and we got the Marvel series and stuff coming on Disney Plus too. They'll be starting up. I think they're saying Captain. What is it? So Falcon and Winter Soldier, and WandaVision should be out, I think, before the end of this year. So we're kind of getting some stuff. It's just exciting. I watched some stuff on Comic-Con, and I saw, if you're fans of The Walking Dead, they're finally going to come out with the finale for season 10 is in October, and then the other two series, Fear the Walking Dead, and then the other new one that they're doing is also going to come out. So we're going to start seeing some stuff coming back in the fall. So that's kind of cool. So I think we're done. Don't want to keep you guys anymore. It's getting late, and I got to get up for work in the morning, unfortunately. So, So thank you all for joining us again. Listen, I'll just go over a little bit more of the rest of the week that we've got coming up for you. Obviously, tomorrow is Thursday. We have an interview, and Ask the Insiders with Jody tomorrow night. She will be asking or answering your questions, and you can chat with us at 7 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Jody will be here for that, and we will be along as well to ask your questions. And then Friday, we've got a hot tag with Brandy. Brandy should be there for a hot tag along with Jeff, and they are talking about snip into a Slim Jim. Yeah, they're talking about Randy Macho Man Savage this Friday. So that will be a fun time as well. And then Saturday is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to Saturday. Saturday, we have obviously the Impact talking Shopomania. That's going to be a good time. So we have that coming up Saturday. But yes, we have some announcements coming as well. So keep watching our channel. A little bit of surprises coming up that we're going to be telling you guys about. Exciting stuff. Obviously, check out Jeff's articles on Sportskeeda, and follow us if you don't already. Twitch. Obviously, head over there and follow us. If you're on Twitch, if you have not done that already, please do so. On our YouTube page, obviously, follow, like, comment on our videos. That always is awesome when you guys do that. Instagram, we are on there. We're on Facebook. I invited some of you guys into the Facebook page last night as well. So, yes, continue to do that, and that would be amazing. Jeff, any last words before we say good night?
Really looking forward to Saturday because it's
Yeah.
going to be fun.
Yep, absolutely. Saturday night is going to be a fun night. So come and join us at 9 o'clock on Saturday. C says, what sleep? That's the thing that some of us have to get when we're older. So yeah. Thanks for joining us again tonight, guys. As always, we had a blast, and thank you for being part of our community, part of our shows, and coming and watching us as well and supporting us as you always do. So from Jeff and myself, good night all, and we will talk to you tomorrow for the Ask the Insiders. Take care, everybody, and have a great night.